Hey everyone, hope you guys are enjoying Hunter Rise Sunbreak and whichever platform you're choosing to play it on. And today we're going to be going over some Hunter Rise Sunbreak adjacent news, and that is the fact that the three lords that were introduced in Sunbreak are now becoming cards in Teppen. Now if you don't necessarily know anything about Teppen, probably wouldn't blame you. It is a mobile game after all. A lot of people just seem to dismiss those right out of the gate because they are mobile games at the end of the day. But this has been a little bit described to me as Hearthstone meets Magic the Gathering with real-time implications. So you're essentially playing cards in real time. It isn't turn-based. Now it's relatively popular. I believe it came out originally in Japan and Asia markets first. It's quickly made its way here in the West, and since then plenty of content has been released for it. Plenty of monsters for Sunbreak have been released already as part of it, and in the latest card packs called Demon Dog Fight, there's a brand new set of cards essentially showcasing both Malzeno, Lunastra, and Garangolm, on top of another couple of like action and unit cards that kind of showcase them as well. So it's pretty much kind of like a continuation of what they already have done, but this time they are full on featuring the three lords, of course, from Sunbreak, that were introduced for the first time into the franchise. Now there's different levels of cards. I'm not really going to get into it to too much detail as to what each one of the cards is. You should be seeing them showcased on the screen. I kind of picked up all the screens from the official website, but they essentially do showcase that each one of the monsters does have a unit, a couple of actions. There's green, blue, purple, I believe black and red as well. So there's like different versions of what those cards will be able to do and what it is that you can accomplish with them. There's already a couple of really interesting videos as I was researching to talk about this a little bit better, since I don't necessarily play Teppen. There's already people with some really awesome deck combinations for these cards. Usually the newest cards tend to be the more powerful ones, so that is not too much of a surprise. I can't necessarily speak to the monetization aspects of the game, since I once again I don't play it, but it is one of those things that it has sustained a little bit of an audience, so maybe the monetization isn't as bad as you would imagine. But of course, as a pretty free to play mobile game, you can't expect too much. Probably the highlight of the entire thing, and of course something that you got to see in the trailer probably very quickly, but I did notice it on the website, is of course the Malzeno secret card, which of course the icon and the drawing and the art of the card itself moves around. That's one of the highlights of like having like the rarer cards, is that of course you have those like moving images. Hearthstone is no different. The Magic the Gathering game is no different. So this is pretty much standard for the course. They do mention that when friendly unit levels up, deal 2 damage to a random enemy unit, has growth number 3, and level 2 gains 2+ HP. So I believe there's a power up level version where you're essentially getting more powerful cards, or a version or a more powerful version of that same card if you decide to power it up. Now of course Sunbreak monsters are not new to this franchise, and Teppen, they have kind of showcased already plenty of base monsters for Monster Hunter, certainly Rise and previous iterations of the game as well, but Sunbreak is finally getting its own edition with the three lords, and we expect to see many of the other new monsters that were added as part of DLC making their way there. We already saw plenty of the Rise monsters making their way to that, and even some things that you wouldn't necessarily expect, like some of the wildlife that you do get to see in like Rise and Sunbreak as you're gathering. For example, spirit birds or whatever have already had separate own cards in their own vein for this Teppen title. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for the official Teppen the game website, showcasing more information for each one of the cards. And if certainly this interests you to check out the game even further, then certainly go ahead and check it out. I'm sure it's available on like Android, iOS, or Apple devices, whatever the case may be. So certainly worth checking out. If you're brand new to my channel though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.